welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. A Barcelona News Round-Up coming up once again today with some big important news. We're going to be focusing on the fitness and the recovery of Lionel Messi. We're also going to be talking there about Barcelona's plans for training tomorrow and beyond, as the return now of La Liga really is just around the corner. We're also going to have some news on yesterday's video when we talked about the potential wage cut the board want the players to take and why right now they are not interested at all, and there's a big reason for that, and an important one. It's all coming up in today's video. Let's get to it. But once again, if we start there with the big news surrounding Lionel Messi and training this morning, Barcelona did return there following the rest of yesterday to training this morning, and sadly, the big news is that Messi was not present with the rest of the group, and once again, he worked away from the rest of the team, and he worked individually in today's training session. The club also confirmed that Ansu Fati trained individual today, did also work on his own, but there's believed to be absolutely no concern there for Ansu. Now, we said yesterday, of course, that we were going to eagerly wait and see whether Messi would be involved today. If he was involved, that would mean that he was absolutely fine. And given the fact that he wasn't involved, that set the alarm bells once again ringing, and it didn't exactly help our anxiety surrounding his fitness. But once again, I do want to come here and just calm the nerves a little bit, because there is some good news with regard now to the club officially releasing a statement describing Messi's current condition. Because they officially came out this morning and said the following: Barcelona captain Leo Messi has a minor right quadriceps injury and trained in isolation, doing specific exercises to avoid unnecessary risks, with just 8 days remaining before Barcelona finally get back to playing matches. He should be able to rejoin his teammates in a few days' time. And firstly, it's nice there to have official confirmation from the club. It's good to hear straight from the club exactly what's going on right now, and it basically means that we don't have to rely on what the media are saying to gauge how he's doing. The second thing I would say there is I actually think there, when you look into that statement, when you look there at the wording Barcelona use, there is reason to be optimistic, looking at this in the most positive way, because indeed, it is now confirmed that Messi does have a muscle problem. He has a problem there in his quadricep, which is not ideal. But the fact there, they particularly stress that it's a minor problem. They really do make an emphasis there on the fact that it is a small issue. And I think also the fact there they say to avoid unnecessary risks. That's important too, because that leads me to believe right now this is simply all being done as a precaution. It's not being done because we have to leave Messi out, because he cannot train. I think right now, because we're getting so close to returning, because we waited so long for this moment, I think there's a real emphasis right now on just being so careful. And I don't believe there's anything serious here for us to be worrying about. And I also want to follow up there on what the media are saying right now. Obviously, they were convinced yesterday that Messi would return today. Alfredo Martinez from Onda Cero still remains calm, though, about Messi's situation, because he says even though today Messi didn't train as we expected him to, he actually went on to say that Messi himself today did want to train. He did want to be in that session with the rest of the group, but it was actually the club who said, you know what, let's just be cautious. Let's just wait one day, a few more days until rejoining the group, just to make absolutely sure and take that caution. And with the squad now due to train tomorrow, again, we're going to be on Messi watch. Is he going to be in that session or isn't he? If he is back, that'll be absolutely fantastic news. But of course, we still don't want to take any risk whatsoever. I think there is definitely the potential that tomorrow we do see him back in training with the group. He's that kind of guy that he'll want to be back in there as soon as possible. But also, there is the possibility that he may wait until Monday to be back in training there on the week that La Liga return. But right now it seems as though he is going to be able to play against Mallorca. There isn't a great deal of concern surrounding him. He will be back. We just have to wait for that moment. And of course, we need Leo. There is also one more important thing to note regarding training, because interestingly, tomorrow's training session will not be at the usual training ground. It's not going to be there out at the training facility across the pitches that we usually see the Barcelona squad on. It's not going to be there. We are going to see the players tomorrow at the Camp Nou. And it has been a long time since we've seen them step out onto the Camp Nou field, but Quique Setien, I feel right now, just wants to get the players back in that mindset of being inside a stadium again, being in the environment there of a stadium ahead of La Liga's return. Because I think we've all said over the past few weeks that training has been excellent. I think our preparation for the return has been very good. But now it's so important that we take what we've been doing in training, that we take that and put it in to the match days. That's so vital. And I think this is just another one of those little steps there of preparation to put the players back in that environment, stepping out there onto the Camp Nou field, and I think certainly they're going to get excited. Stepping out onto the field again, they're going to be motivated. This is really happening. The time is coming, and it's very, very exciting indeed, because let's remember here, they wouldn't so much have stepped foot onto the Camp Nou, or indeed inside of any stadium, since the 7th of March, when we played Real Sociedad at home. That was the last game these players would have played, and by the time they return, that would have been 3 entire months without being on the field again, without being there inside the stadium. And certainly now, at long, long last, we are so close to that return. Barcelona will be back in action in just over a week's time. I also, though, do want to bring you there a little bit of news regarding that pay cut that we spoke about in yesterday's video, where reports say that Bartomeu has proposed there a 30% cut to player wages for next season. So this is not here just for a small period of time. This here is a cut that's going to apply right the way through next season of 30% of the player's salary. And like I said yesterday, the players right now are not keen on that whatsoever. They signed a contract, they believe that should be honoured, and they took a 70% cut right throughout this crisis, and they believe that should have been sufficient. But I also want to bring you actually a little story here from Rack 1 from yesterday, and I think this is so important, and the wording of it in particular has to be stressed, because they say right now that yes, the players are not interested in another pay cut, but they say there they believe the players shouldn't be responsible for the mismanagement of the club in recent years. So basically there, the players right now are feeling as though, you know what, we're not going to clean up your mess. We are not going to take a cut here and make things easy for you. You got the club into this problem. You were the one handing out those wages, looking to sign those massive, massive names for big money. We're not going to help you out. Now that you need it, don't come crying to us. That right now is the attitude of the players. And I just think it's quite interesting, because right now we're hearing reports about Lautaro. Earlier on, a few weeks ago, we were hearing all about Neymar Jr. And can you imagine there, the club trying to negotiate for these players for that massive amount of money, and then having the audacity to go to your current players and say, you know what, we can't really afford to pay you, but we could bring in Lautaro for 100 million, we just can't pay your wages. And I just think certainly there, of course that's not going to go down well with the players, and like I say, I wouldn't expect an agreement on this for quite some time. This will linger on. Before we end in today's video though, I do just want to give you guys a quick update on a man that we spoke about just a few days ago on the channel. It is Francisco Trincão, and the good news is he could be back in action, back out on the field playing for Braga today, because Braga will be playing their first game back after the break away at Santa Clara in Liga NOS tonight. That there is going to be coming at 8 p.m. local time in Portugal. And I just thought I'd mention that, guys, because if you don't have anything to do later on, if you're at a bit of a loose end, you need some entertainment, I would certainly sit down there, have a little look at Trincão. Let's see exactly how he's going to be performing. Of course, before the break, as we discussed a few days ago, he was in absolutely electric form. And I think certainly after this isolation period now, ahead of his move to Barcelona, he is going to be so excited for that, and keep an eye on exactly what he can produce tonight. Braga Santa Clara, live from Liga NOS. And finally, guys, just before we do end, I just want to quickly ask you in today's video, what would you like to see prior there to La Liga's return, and indeed Barcelona's return to action next week? It's something, of course, that we've all waited such a long time for. We're all so excited there for football to be getting back underway. Of course, prior to the Mallorca game, we're going to have the usual match preview, maybe even, of course, a tactical preview. We're going to be giving you all the build-up possible ahead of that game. But is there anything else that you'd like to see? Maybe you want to see a preview there of all the La Liga games that are going to be coming up. La Liga, of course, kicking off there with Sevilla against Betis. What a game that is going to be. But just let me know in the comments down below if there's anything in particular you'd like to see prior to football's return. It is something that we're all so excited about. I cannot wait now. We are within touching distance. Thanks as always, guys, for sticking with me right throughout this isolation period. It really does mean a lot, and I couldn't have done it without all of your support. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on everything we have discussed in today's video. What are your thoughts on Messi? Do you believe that he's going to be back in training tomorrow or on Monday? How do you feel about that? Let me know in the comments down below. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.